Hello, and welcome to the Vergecast on the 500th day of CES 2016, the show that never sleeps or stops or produces any product news. No, it's our last day here at CES. I think you can hear the sleepiness in my voice. But I'm Nilay Patel. I'm joined here today by my friend Casey Newton.
Good to be here.
You got to talk right into that mic.
I'm going to talk right into the mic and tell you that it's good to be here.
It's good to be here. Dieter Bone is here.
I'm Dieter Bone. I'm still here.
My girl Fumo's here.
Hello.
What up? I'm just dying to know what you've been up to.
Yeah?
Nicola just appears randomly at CES. Like you appeared on the show yesterday, then you disappeared. Then you appeared at a party I was at, then you disappeared.
Yeah, no, we have had some weird run-ins.
Yeah.
Only run-ins.
Yeah, only run-ins.
Nothing but run-ins.
I want some quality time.
We're here now.
Yeah, that's true.
We have 1 hour, I guess.
Let's grind through some quality time together.
Let's spend some goddamn time together as family.
What
All
do
right.
I do? I don't know. It's a really great question.
Well, let's start with Casey. So, Casey, what have you been up to at CES? What have you been seeing? What have you been talking about?
Well, I mean, Neil, as you know, CES falls somewhere outside my core interests. I'm not a big Internet of Things guy, but I did check in.
Is there any big Internet of Things guys?
That man right there is a huge Internet of Things person.
He's Wi-Fi
that
enabled.
straw actually has Intel's Curie chip in it.
Yeah, that is a Bluetooth straw.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is going to the live blogs of the various multinational corporations, your Intels and your Nvidias and your Samsungs, and I think there was one more, LG. And this is going to sound like a joke, but the thing that I've been most excited about are household appliances.
Yeah.
Because they're useful in ways that are serious. For example, a washing machine that also dries your clothes. Why did it take us till 2016 to get a good one of those? I don't know. But we have one now. And by we have one, I mean it will become commercially available and remain unaffordable to me probably. But I thought that was very cool. And then the Samsung fridge has a 21.5-inch touchscreen in it, and you can send all sorts of crazy trolls to your friends.
I read your live blogs, and I have to say your enthusiasm for these products now was not matched.
It was not apparent.
No. It was
Yeah. Well, I think it was one of those things where the more I thought about it, even as I was cracking wise, because how can you not?
I mean,
everyone should a few F-bombs.
Everyone should read Casey's live blogs of these events. There's one where they said there's literally nothing this washing machine can't do, and Casey just goes, that is a bold claim.
It was a very bold claim. But what's funny is some of the companies that I was making fun of started to reach out to me to go meet the people I'd been making fun of. So, for example, Dolby, which is just like a middleware company that doesn't actually sell to consumers, was continually interrupting other presentations to be like, hey, we put Dolby in this. It was like Dolby's entire role at corporate presentations. We put some Dolby in this, you guys. And so they hired this James Bond looking character named Giles Baker to tell the world about this. And so I was making various James Bond jokes in the live blog, and then I got an email the next day that just said, Giles Baker would like to meet with you. And so yesterday I went with my tail between my legs to Dolby and met with Giles Baker, and he explained to me all of the different kinds of Dolby that Dolby puts into things. Yeah. And it was very lovely.
What's his favorite kind of Dolby?
Well, I'll tell you the most sort of bromantic moment that we shared together. They took me into the Dolby testing lounge where they have a sort of high-end but commercially available TV and Klipsch sound system. And Giles Baker and I sat on a sofa and we watched Justin Bieber perform an acoustic version of What Do You Mean at an insanely loud volume. And I honestly had chills, like the hairs on my neck were standing up. And so Giles Baker really left me with a lot to think about. Yeah.
What's interesting is TheVerge.com now, Casey's installed some Dolby. Yeah. Just get that fine Dolby experience.
Look for Dolby on the box. That's what I have to tell you.
If you haven't read, I'm so tired.
It's a long week.
Look, I played Blackjack until 5 in the morning. Let's just be honest and direct. It's Las Vegas.
Did you win or lose?
I watched somebody else insist that they were lucky in winning while spending somebody else's money. Oh. And then she took that money. She took whatever because it was someone else's money coming in. She decided that she had doubled her money and walked away, not paying back. It was anyway. Look, it's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I'm an easily tempted human being.
Sure. Would you say that you know when to hold them or when to fold them?
That's not blackjack.
But
wait, what is a Vegas line?
Okay.
You know when to hit them or when to quit them?
I would say that I'm getting better at knowing when to quit them.
Okay, that's good.
In my 35th year, I think deciding when to quit them is a thing I'm going to focus on.
Right. So when 5 a.m. came around, you said, "Yeah, that's probably enough for tonight."
Yeah, I consulted the flow chart that I've been developing on my phone, and it said, "Are you lonely and by yourself in a casino?" And the phone said yes.
Right.
It's funny. Nicola, what have you been up to?
Mostly looking at things you can put on your wrist,
Yeah.
and if you should or shouldn't do that, basically.
Yeah.
Should I put something on my wrist?
I would say
I have very thin wrists.
no.
Okay, thank you.
Wait,
No,
really?
we're not
I'm
going to do
gonna
wrists are
go
thinner
with
than your wrists.
no.
Why?
No, because he has a computer with
Oh,
him.
they're about
I
the
feel like
same.
most of the time.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been looking
Wait,
at
if you have a
all-
computer with you don't need something on your wrist?
Yeah, because
This
it's
is your
doing the
thesis?
job that there's the thing in front of you. Why would you want that?
Oh, you've been looking at
redundancy?
watches, not like I thought you were looking at like fitness trackers.
Oh yeah, and those
Yeah, but
connected bracelets even.
Oh my God,
Whoa.
someone e-braced. I don't know. It's not a
Don't
phrase.
shorten it. It's not good. Yeah,
Wait,
no.
but no laptop can do what a fitness tracker can do.
No laptop can do what a fitness
That's what you
tracker
just
can
said.
do.
You said you shouldn't put anything in your wrist because he has a laptop.
Okay, fine. He can put whatever he wants on his wrist.
Fine. Why is this so hostile? I feel like you've been looking at a lot of products that made you kind of mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about those.
The maddest I got was whenever there's jewels put on something for women, and
We talked about this a little bit yesterday,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Swarovski everywhere.
yeah, just more of that, more of jewels on things.
Mm-hmm.
Man, today, we made a video. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
It's me and Lauren.
Yeah. Learn good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putting
It's
stuff on
real-
your wrist.
Real magic.
What was the ugliest thing that you've seen?
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, her immediate thought was your face, and she didn't want to say it.
Yeah, Nicola's just like on fire today. She came in, sat down, started throwing jabs.
Yeah,
dropping
this
bombs.
is a really, actually, no, I was telling someone that CES is releasing my inner snob. Like, I try to keep it quiet, or at least internal, and I'm just like saying things out loud that are just mean and judgmental and based on appearances.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't
Or
know,
is it
something about
CES
this
or is it
just-
Vegas?
No, this is not Vegas. We're not in Vegas. This is CES.
I would say CES is the most Vegas thing that I go to every year.
I would
But I
say-
come here every year. So.
I would say barring like probably a cumulative 4 hours, I haven't been in Las Vegas. I've been in CES.
I saw Cher's farewell show in Las Vegas, and that was the most Las Vegas thing I'd ever
That
seen.
sounds like it.
Yeah. At the very end of the show, before we had even stopped clapping, Cher was on a helicopter back to Los Angeles, which tells you a lot about the way that people feel about Vegas at the end of their time here.
And also, the crowd kept clapping long enough.
We felt like fools. We kept expecting her to come out and take a bow. Little did we
God.
know.
Should we
She's
see a
on
show
another city.
tonight?
Yes.
Wow.
Is Brittany playing tonight?
We're going to find out.
No. The crew knows.
Our producers are fully aware.
In case you're wondering what people do over there while we're recording the Vergecast, they're
Scour StubHub for Britney tickets.
Dave and Andrew are scouring for Britney tickets.
I did
I
see
mean,
Chris Brown
Andrew's
last
website
night.
is BritneySpearsSuperFan.com.
Yeah.
You saw
Chris
That
Brown
net.
where?
play.
Oh, play.
Yeah.
How's Chris Brown?
Oh man, how far do we want to go into this?
All the way. Tell the whole story.
Well, okay, so like being in a club here is so weird when it's like a brand sponsored event because it's all the like CES suit
Say
jacket
it.
and lanyards like everywhere in the club, and it's so weird. And
Putting your hand over your face isn't going to hide you from these people. They still see
They
you.
know.
but it's like the club is full of mostly that, and then there's like that's probably like a healthy 89%. The drinks are free, so you drink them. And you don't stop drinking them.
What Hemingway nightwear are you describing?
And then
The drinks are free.
the weird thing about the parties here is that usually
The ocean is roaring at me.
the
Desert
weird thing
was
about the
angry
parties
that
here
evening.
is that many things, but the artists that are scheduled to perform actually go on at regular hours. And usually, like anything you go to, you're like, oh, there's a guest, great, they're going to be on at 2 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
So Chris Brown came on at like maybe 11,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a really reasonable hour.
Yeah.
Started by himself, mostly played like kind of slow jams, like it wasn't like a hot intro. And then 4 male dancers appeared later.
Yeah.
And then they would go away
what
and come
brand
back.
was sponsored this party? Did I miss it?
iHeartRadio.
I heard. Oh, yeah. That's the thing that they do here.
Yeah.
We went to the Twitter Spotify party in search of Drake.
When we got there, we were told that Chromeo was playing, but then Nilay and I walked into the stage area, and they just had a boombox playing Juvenile's Back That Ass Up, which was not very Chromeo at all.
It was very confusing.
Yeah.
But no, Drake. They lured us there with Drake.
What? How did they say?
They said Drake will be playing.
The classic Drake.
Very subtle.
But wouldn't your mind be like, he couldn't possibly be at a Spotify event? That would be not possible because of Apple Music, right? What? You didn't do that in your head immediately?
Well, his manager was there, is something else we were told. And earlier in the day at a Twitter event, I had run into Flowrida, who was there trying on headphones from a company that Twitter has taken a minority stake in for literally no reason that anyone will tell me. Twitter invested in a headphones company. They built a little kind of city environment in the Cosmopolitan Hotel. So there were like these little storefronts, and you could go in, and there were meeting rooms, and it was like very elaborate and very well done, and like it all looked very cool. And one of the storefronts was a headphones store. The company's named Music, M-U-Z-I-K. Twitter took a stake in it. I have no idea why. And who was in there when I walked by trying on headphones? None other than Flowrida himself.
Do you recognize him by face?
Oh, no. Obviously, somebody had to tell me that it was
okay.
Flowrida. I mean, I've, of course, heard the songs.
Of course.
I'm, not living under a rock over here, people.
No.
But I do not know what he looks like.
I don't know what he looks
Mostly because he won't return my calls to set up our first date. So.
Oh, you and Uncle Flo?
Yeah, me and Uncle Flo.
Did you mention to him that his name is actually just the word Florida with a space?
I wanted to, because I think when he finds out, he is going to be so embarrassed. He's like, what have I been doing for the last 5 years with this name?
He loves Florida so much that he was like, you know what my rap name is going to be? Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
I want mine to be Cal Afornton, and just see if that could kind of catch on.
Actually, we should talk about headphones for a minute.
Let's get into it. These are terrible. Who got these for? No, I'm just kidding.
these are
Go
awful.
on.
Andrew's just crying in the corner. This is the part of the CES where you start emotionally abusing each other. No, so every year there's an Apple leak at CES.
Oh yeah.
There's all Apple always. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I believe that this stuff happens for a reason.
But no, if it were happening for a reason at CES, they wouldn't have waited until today.
But why is it every year? Anyway.
All right.
It always happens. What a surprise! It happened again. So, the Apple leak is confirmation that Apple's going to cut the headphone jack out of the next iPhone, make it yet even thinner. Because fuck battery life. And they're gonna build wireless Beats headphones, like earphones.
It was earbuds. It was wireless earbuds.
Wireless earbuds,
which like finally became a real thing this year at CES.
Right, yeah. They're everywhere, and they'll pack in some garbage earpods to plug in the lightning port.
Oh, okay. So the actual included ones we do not think
yeah,
are going to
but
be wireless.
obviously the thing that they're gonna say is we don't need a headphone jack anymore because you're gonna buy these sick.
Now, what I mean, talk to me about the
that's
audio
the
quality.
big Apple leak of the show.
What is the audio fidelity of wireless earbuds?
So it's gotten, like 5 years ago, it was bad. It's gotten way better. So like Bluetooth headphones are pretty good now. It's aptX.
aptX, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, because I'm already getting, only mediocre sound from Spotify, right? I have like very nice headphones when I'm at my desk, but it's, Spotify, so it's 320 kbps. I don't want to degrade that any further.
I don't think you'll be able. I don't think that signal path is going to get, by adding one piece of they're going to do something, but you're probably not going to hear it because that information is probably already gone.
Yeah.
What if they're not Bluetooth? What if they come up with their own custom proprietary wireless standard?
That's very Apple, but they wouldn't, because then you can only use them with a phone,
So does this feel like the sort of inevitable future, or is this Apple tinkering for the sake of tinkering?
Apple's in a real Samsung place lately,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I definitely have used smartphones that didn't have headphone jacks. Like the Trios didn't. HTC made a bunch of phones that had this weird mini
for
USB.
years about
we
that.
hated it. It was the most annoying thing.
What was HTC's connector called? It was like some USB. It wasn't USB, and then you had to plug in dongles.
It was mini USB, but it was like a trapezoid instead of proper mini USB.
Man, that company should just continue slowly dying.
Or HTC.
Sorry, that's awful.
It was the HTC multifunction audio adapter.
Yeah.
I remember because it had such a catchy name.
Yeah. Would you wear wireless headphones, like individual wireless earbuds?
I don't want to.
Yeah. Why not?
They're gonna make me though, I guess.
Or you could just use regular Bluetooth headphones. One assumes.
Because it's another thing to misplace.
Exactly.
Like the Tangle, I can find it.
What's,
You know?
What's cooler, the over-ear cans or buds?
Well, I like the idea of having over ear, but in my woman on the go lifestyle,
Yeah.
I just can't be encumbered.
As a busy
with
millennial.
those.
Yeah.
I'm a busy young professional millennial.
Wow.
It's true.
Wow, guys.
But yeah, no, I need that. It has to go in my bag. It has to go away. It can't have a precious, like, this thing that's as big as a sandwich. Like, I can't carry a sandwich all the time. Only a piece of gum.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
These headphones are nice, but
Not
breaks
gum
the sandwich
size.
rule.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think killing the audio jack is such an enormous mistake. It just seems like they're just doing it to do it. Like, yes, the connector's been around for like 100 years or something crazy.
Yeah. Am I the only person who would get really excited if this year's leak had been like the iPhone 7 will be like 3 millimeters thicker and the battery life will be like 12 hours longer?
No, you can buy an ugly battery case. I mean, like, that's the thing that they want, right? Like, it's funny. Like, Joanna Stern's review of the iPhone 6S
Was great.
Like, literally, she like walked around the street and like people were like, I want longer battery life, and she's like, now you can press the screen, and they're like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
That's not useful to me. It's just like I think they're just finding ways to make it ever thinner for no discernible reason.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't think the iPhone has terrible battery life.
Also waterproof.
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
waterproof.
thing that was leaking out there.
Yeah, and I mean that's genuinely useful, right? People do break their iPhones because they drop them in the toilet. My brother himself, I think, has lost like 8 phones in the toilets. So that's great. But
changes habits.
Wait, 8?
I know. No, not that many.
In the
But
toilets?
between him and his wife, like they're always like scrounging around for an upgrade because somebody either dropped it or into the ocean or that kind of thing. They were placed under some sort of curse. I don't know.
Were they dropped into the ocean? Is kind of amazing because you
Yeah.
have to be above the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
They spent
constantly
a lot of time.
helicoptering.
They spent a lot of time parasailing, kite surfing. Very active.
No, waterproof is great. I just think I get that wireless, like Bluetooth headphones are a thing. They're a big market. People buy the hell out of them. But I just think that is the thing that people won't buy an iPhone because it doesn't have a headphone jack.
Yeah.
Like they'll be like, you know what? Like I invested in headphones, or I just like wrapping a cord around something and putting it away. Like I have no interest in wireless earbuds.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to have a huge effect on sales one way or the other. Again, it's just not the leak that I would have been looking for.
I have no interest
Every
in
year
charging
there's
wireless
something.
earbuds.
Last year, what leaked was the MacBook.
Like, hang on.
Oh, yeah.
If Apple, if you want to live in the Apple world, they are going to expect you to charge every night a phone,
Or
earbuds,
just use
and
your,
the watch.
or buy a Lightning set of headphones,
Or
buy a
Lightning
Lightning
set of-
adapter for your
right.
headphones. It's just like a silly thing, right? Like suddenly headphones no longer work.
You think it'll come with a Lightning adapter?
I think it will come with Lightning earpods.
Yeah.
The world's worst headphones. Do you remember the video when they put out the earpods and Johnny I was like, I have studied sound for hundreds of years. It's like, and he's like, we finally did it.
Something that I do a lot is I charge my phone while I'm like taking a call, which I take on my earpods. That's just like, is all that stuff just going to go away? The more I'm thinking about this, I guess, the less excited I am about. Because I charge my phone in while using the headphones all the time.
Yeah.
Because if they're there and your phone's there, then where are you going to talk? How are you going to do that? You have to hold it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We're going backwards.
Oh, garbage.
Such garbage.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I didn't make the leak, but every year there's a leak. Last year was an actual hot new laptop.
Yep.
This year it's what I think is a retrograde decision about headphone jacks. What else? Oh, you got to talk about Peach.cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
ready?
So here's
Ready
the
to get
real
into it?
news. Yeah,
Here's the real
let's step
news.
outside of our Las Vegas bubble right now.
Is it back, or did you destroy it?
We can see
We took
right
down his
now.
shitty
I took down a social network today. I probably shouldn't take credit for that because I'm actually not sure if I did. But what I can tell you is that Peach.cool is the hottest thing on kind of media Twitter and early adopter Twitter.
Oh my God.
So last June, actually, I wrote a big story about an app called Byte, which was created by a guy named Dom Hoffman, who's the co-founder of Vine. So he's had a lot of success building these social networks. Byte was this crazy creation tool. You could use it to do almost anything, and that was sort of its undoing. Nobody really knew what to do with it. You could add GIFs, text, photos, you could make music and put it into the app. So it looks like they sort of create a little side project, which is called Peach, which is a little bit more straightforward. You can add a text update, you can post a photo, you can do a drawing, but it adds in these things it calls magic words, which are kind of like Slack commands. So you can type in GIF and it'll bring up a little box to search for GIFs, or you can type in here and it'll let you post your current location.
Right.
And then, as you'd expect, you can add a heart or you can comment. The best part of the app is that it kind of took Facebook's poke feature and then expanded it into this range of like 8 or 10 actions. So you can boop someone, you can wave at them, you can kiss them, you can put a ring on them.
Can you poop emoji them?
You cannot poop emoji them, but you can quarantine them, which is amazing.
I quarantine TC.
Yeah, well, rightly so.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of a weird, fun mechanic where it's like they've kind of created their own little language. So I just saw people were tweeting about this. I got on the beta last week, didn't really think much of it because with these social networks, you honestly never know what's going to take off and what isn't. There seems to be sort of no rhyme or reason to it. In this particular case, it's a little bit silly and it's a little bit dumb, and that often is enough to get an app about 100,000 users. And so we'll see if we're all still talking about this on Monday. But like right now, I'm getting like dozens.
Blown up on Peach.
I'm getting blown up on Peach. And I'll be moving all of my social networking there.
Are you on the Peach?
No, I just found out about it in the traffic.
It has the best URL of any social network, which is peach.cool.
That's great.
Maybe peach.horse
it.
would have been better, but peach.cool is the best that I'm aware of.
I get stolen a lot lately.
Oh, really? Yeah. Stolen is really interesting.
I don't know what's going on.
So Stolen is a game, sort of moving right along to the other kind of big viral phenomenon, which I haven't written about yet, but want to. It was created by a guy who had previously worked at Zynga, so he kind of knows about how to create these viral apps, but had been working on this journal app called Heyday, which had some nice qualities about it, but just wasn't taking off. So they decided to see if they could save the company by creating a viral game.
Wow.
And so they created this thing called Stolen, which was based on a previous thing that they had did that was called Friends for Sale. And in Friends for Sale, your friends had pet avatars and you would steal them or something like that. What Stolen does is it lets you steal Twitter avatars. So I can go onto Stolen, and you get a certain amount of money, virtual currency, to start with, and you're worth a certain amount of virtual currency, and then I can buy you. So let's say you're 10,000, I buy you for 10,000. And if somebody buys you, shortly thereafter, your stock goes up, and you get a cut of the sale, and the person who stole you the first time gets to keep whatever the difference is between what he bought you for and what he sold you for.
You should just see Nicola's face right now.
I love this.
She's so excited about this concept.
It's very. I was very skeptical about it, but I've been playing for the past couple days.
Why are you so excited about this?
I don't know. I'm trying to think why. The problem with CES is your brain doesn't work all the way.
Again, that's also a Las Vegas problem.
Yeah. No, I don't know why I like this so much, but I really like it. I think people are going to love it because it lets people be on pedestals above each other.
Yeah.
People love ranking.
And also, too, I think for a lot of us on Twitter, there's always somebody cooler than you on Twitter that won't follow you back.
Yes.
On Stolen, you can just buy them. so there's something very empowering about the idea
I know
of
who my first buy would be for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It would be Bieber.
No.
You can't afford him. He's 99 million coins.
What?
Yeah, it's too many coins. Although you can buy more coins.
I mean, that's
how they monetize it.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can actually have plenty of fun on Stolen for free, which is something
I just get a lot of notifications. It's you have been stolen for 20,000. I'm leave me alone.
Oh, you're getting Twitter notifications about it?
Yeah.
Because
But
I'm sure
once you
people get
own
excited
them-
when they steal you.
Once you own them, what can you do with them?
The only thing you can do is if they're not stolen from you, they generate some sort of currency. So you visit the app
Am I
once
mining
a day.
Bitcoin by accident?
You
Is that
probably
what's,
are.
Is that what's happening?
It's probably a big Bitcoin mining
Did you
scheme.
see the heater that was here?
No, is it a Bitcoin heater?
There was a shared. This is actually
Like
really
a
cool.
cigarette?
Idea. I need to Google. No. It was it's a heater for your home, and it has computational ability, and it connects to a shared computing cloud service, and so it generates heat for your home by mining Bitcoin and doing other things.
Wow.
And so the waste heat is used to heat your home. It's ridiculous. And then they were we need this cloud storage thing because you don't need computational resources evenly, so we have to send you some to heat your home when you're not doing it. I gotta find this. It was amazing.
That sounds like somebody really overthought the concept of a heater.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must
I
use
just
so much
Googled-
electricity.
I just Googled.
Relative, it must be so inefficient relative to a regular old heater.
I find it. Project Exergy. I know it was here. It was at Showstoppers or Pepcon or one of the ones I went to, and it was just such an insane such an only at CES product where I was like, what is this? And they're like, it's a heater. It mines Bitcoin. It's like, that's usually the other way around. You went to a fucking crazy booth today.
I went to a totally normal booth today. There's one like right there.
Yeah.
It's just a company out of St. Louis that makes everything.
Yeah.
And they've got a design center in Hong Kong or Shenzhen, and we want to make a hoverboard. Well, this is the one the factories make. We'll make ours look a little bit this way.
Yeah.
And we want to make a blender. We want to make a alarm clock. They make like 15 different kinds of alarm clocks, and you probably have one in your house or in your hotel room because they've got 50 white labels.
Right.
And it was just like fascinating to go in there and like, what is your CES like? Well, my CES is like convincing Walmart to like buy my stuff and put it in the checkout aisle.
Wow.
But they had like good stuff, like fine stuff. Nothing there was like utter garbage. And even if it was, it's like, well, they'll get rid of it somewhere. But like the thing, I mean, I wrote a whole piece about it, but the thing that I realized is like the worst stuff here is like 20% better than it was 2 or 3 years ago. Same thing with the best stuff. And so like, yeah, go out and buy a crappy Bluetooth speaker. You'll be fine.
I'll tell you, I'm
Everything will
thinking
be
about
okay.
it. I had the same jam box for like 4 years, but now like the battery won't charge, so it only works if it's plugged in. So I'm in the market.
Yeah, they've got ones that float. They've got ones with suction cups.
You gotta watch this video. It's Dieter and Walt just like
Yeah.
playing with toys.
Yeah, Walt and I walked around.
Yeah.
That sounds
He
fantastic.
told me stories
Hey,
about
did
the
you do
history
your
of
backpack
CES.
story?
No.
We had a story. Who pitched it? It was somebody.
I don't know. I still don't get it.
Somebody was like, CES is the only place on Earth where everyone is constantly wearing a backpack and it's acceptable.
I don't know if that's true.
No.
Yeah,
That man's wearing a backpack.
high school.
Call it out. It's a
I
backpack.
see a lot
High
of
school?
people who don't have backpacks.
College.
Sir, I applaud you for turning around
Oh,
when I
there's
said
one.
sub backpack and knowing that
But
it's
there
not
isn't
your
one.
name.
There isn't one.
We
There
have to
isn't
stop.
one.
We
There
have to
isn't
stop.
one.
A, this is terrible radio if you're in your car. B, we are literally just yelling at people.
We're engaging
I brought a
with the audience.
backpack. I brought a backpack.
You brought a backpack?
Yeah, I
What
wanted to
kind-
fit in.
What kind of backpacks did you bring? Are
Um,
backpacks cool? Can
what's
they
that?
be cool?
What's cooler, a backpack or a messenger bag?
A backpack.
Whoa, really?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Wow.
hear it. Why?
I don't know. I mean, one, the weight distribution on a messenger bag makes no sense. It's terrible.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah, no, it's so
Okay.
bad.
You
What
got to
are you
wear it
gonna do
high
this?
tight, and then it's more even.
Okay, now we're wearing the messenger bag high tight, and it's even.
Yeah.
All right, fine. We're done with this. You know what we need to talk about? I just realized, and my Wi-Fi's out. I can't get the whole story, but maybe you guys know it. There was a raid on a hoverboard company here.
We're sitting inside a crime scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
The federal officials raided at the behest of One Wheel, but then Segway is here, they're like just over there. Razor's here with a hoverboard, and Swagway, the world's worst named company. Like, shouldn't Segway send the cops to Swagway?
You know,
If
I
One
think there's a
Wheel's
case to
sending
be
it?
made.
Anyway, they released a product called the Swagtron, which is
Swagtron.
actually just a robot Sam Sheffer. He just says outlandish things about vlogging.
Beef. Must. Beef.
Oh my god. Anyway, do you guys can somebody walk me through the federal raid story?
So One Wheel didn't want their stuff, their patented things, stolen by other companies. When like,
How are there patents on this? Like the whole point is that there are no patent. That's what. Anyway, keep going.
Sounds like somebody reinvented the one wheel.
We're done. Shut it down.
Good night.
Anyway,
so they got some kind of patent, and
Yeah.
so they another company, like whenever anybody makes a hoverboard, immediately the same thing gets made by everybody else, and they all talk to each other in
Really?
these factories. Yeah, and so like if I want to go make a Bluetooth speaker, I fly out to Shenzhen and I go to like 15 factories, and they all say, well, these are the kinds of Bluetooth speaker we used to make. And I say, okay, how about that one? And they're like,
Yeah.
cool. And I said, okay, can you like put a flower on it so it's at least unique? And they're like, yeah, sure, here's a flower.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens with the hoverboards. And so whatever factory, I'm guessing, made their stuff, like it just got all stolen.
Right.
And so some of those companies end up coming out to CES, and they, a bunch of the bigger companies are tired of it. So they like told the feds, and the feds are like, yeah, and they went and raided the Changzhou First International Trade
wow.
booth, or building and took them out. Didn't take them out.
Wow, that's harsh. Yeah.
Took them away.
The penalty for hoverboard patent infringement is summary execution immediately on a trade show floor.
Which I love, because normally we write these patent stories and they're so like impenetrable, but like a good old-fashioned raid, like where you feel like you're in like Prohibition era America, is amazing.
Well, no, so it happens way more often in like Germany. So every year there's some MP3 raid story. So there's MP3 is patented. The Fraunhofer Institute. I don't know if you know this.
Say the institute
Fraunhofer.
again. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Us patent aficionados, or anyway, whatever. Every year there's some company that doesn't pay the license for MP3 and they put out MP3 players. And every year the German authorities raid IFA. And I have written this story or reblogged this story like for a decade.
Yeah.
Like they did it again. The cops showed up, and it's just funny that I've never really heard about it happening here.
Well, what's fascinating?
But like, why would you pick that company and not any of the others?
They're bigger. I don't know.
Yeah.
They've been trying to get him to stop for a while now. They've been sending him cease and desist, and they told him don't come to the show, and then they came anyway. And so then like, okay, well we're doing this. But what's fascinating to me about the hoverboard
CEO
story,
of Swagway like got an alert on his phone. It's like the cops are here. Everybody back it up.
Gets on his little one wheel and starts wheeling out here.
He's like, no one can know. What were you saying?
I was saying what's fascinating to me about hoverboards is like I don't even know if we can call some of these things knockoffs, because like it's hard to know where the original actually was, and so they're all like knockoffs of each other. And so like the term like here's the genuine article and here's the fake version of it doesn't really even apply, and that's happening like across like all of the tech industry right now. It doesn't happen with like the laptops, the phones, the brand stuff we have, but all the other little gewgaws that you can get in your house. There's other versions of it everywhere else, and the line between what's real and what's the knockoff is really vague. And we only noticed it with hoverboards because the frickin' things were lighting on fire.
Yeah, it's funny. The marketing line for two different hoverboards here is like, this one won't explode.
Yeah,
it's like that's a really low bar, and it's like. Swagway is like the Swagtron. The battery is protected, so it won't kill you.
The battery's protected by like being encased in aluminum, in which case, if it does fail, it's gonna fail way more spectacularly.
Also,
it's got shrapnel now.
Also, if I'm 13, you know a tagline I don't want to hear? This won't explode.
Yeah.
Sell me on the danger. Like my
risk.
tagline for a cool teen hoverboard would be like, this thing will take you right off a fucking cliff, bro. Yeah, Mom, I want this one. Put a skull and crossbones on it.
I feel as though as our designated teen reporter, you're moving farther and farther away.
Actually, Caitlin is our designated teen reporter now.
Yeah, she did a great Teens at CES story. All the stuff that was branded and marketed for teens.
She found the Kodak booth as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She was like, I love it here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great place to be.
It's funny that both of you like zeroed in on this one experience.
That is really funny.
And she's like, why is there a selfie spot here?
Yeah.
What's your favorite place at CES this year? Is it the Kodak booth?
My favorite place at CES. No, it can't be that, because it's not that good.
Wow.
There's got to be something better.
Mine's the drone
Wait,
zone.
what was it?
Have you been to the
what
drone
did you
zone?
just think of?
I don't know. I don't know if I like anything anymore.
You got to go to the drone zone. I'm telling you,
Dude,
it's amazing.
2 days and you're wrecked.
I'm done.
You just can't handle it anymore.
I rescheduled my flight to go home later because I got here later, and I'm like, I wish I was gone.
I'm sorry. It's like we've just been here for a week.
I know.
We have like 4 days to go.
It's scary.
We don't have 4 days to go.
We're gonna be here till December.
Yeah. What else happened at the show? What do we need to talk about? What are some other themes? We wrote a bunch of stuff today.
So Nick Stat had an awesome story about how Amazon was the secretly most interesting thing here.
Yes, we definitely have to talk about that.
Talking about this all day.
Well, go ahead.
Well, no, you can go. It's fine.
You've been talking all day.
Yeah, I'm tired of talking about it.
God damn it.
All right. We are so angry and
snippy on the Vergecast. Everyone needs to take a break.
Let's leave about 15 minutes of dead air and let the audience collect their thoughts.
You know what great radio is moments of silence.
Just
my new podcast, Moments of Silence.
No, so the story is that Amazon, whenever CES happens, we email the companies, are you going to be there? Are you going to be there? And Amazon's like, nah, we're not showing up. There might be some stuff with Alexa, but don't worry about it. And we're like, okay, cool. I guess we won't plan to think about Amazon at CES. And instead, Alexa and the Amazon Echo is basically the thing that's actually winning the fight for what's going to be the standard for the smart home. And they've done it in this really clever way where Apple's like, we made HomeKit, we made a standard, build our standard into your stuff, and we're going to get the whole industry, and we're going to fight Google, we're going to fight Samsung smart things, and we're going to win. We're going to have a good, grand old ecosystem battle. It's going to be VHS versus Beta all over again, and we can't wait to get into it. And Google did the same thing with Brillo, but they're like,
it was really weird when Tim Cook got up on stage and said that.
Yeah. and Samsung's doing kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
And like, everybody's got different shades of like, we're open, we have, it's easy to use, blah, blah, blah. And Amazon, meanwhile, is just like, yo, like, here's how to do it, and you don't need to buy into our whole ecosystem. We'll work with everybody. We don't care. Like, we'll work with if this and that. You can just here's how it is. Go do it. And everybody has the speaker in their house because it's $150 now. And so like all of a sudden they're just like they're the coolest way to deal with your smart home here at CES, and everybody else that's like got way more money and way more effort invested in like building a massive smart home ecosystem. It's just like watching Amazon walk away with the mind share of this is how you control your smart home.
Right. I think it's amazing actually. That like I think I've said this on the show a couple times. The Echo is the best gift I gave at Christmas because it's so. I mean, this is literally the framework I'm thinking of every product, right? It demands nothing of you at any time. You plug it in the wall, you leave it alone.
Yep.
And then when you want stuff, you like talk to it, and it delivers things to you. And like the range of things it's starting to deliver to you is like getting high. Like if Apple, instead of, this is ridiculous, and like there's probably good reasons Apple made this decision, but instead of doing the watch, if they had made an Echo-like product and said, we're going to start to add intelligence to the rest of your home, and now Siri is just in your kitchen all the time, people would have bought the out of that.
They should have done that.
It would have been like, I mean, literally, like Apple would have been like, this is revolutionary. Instead of Amazon's doing it super quietly. And all of these smart home products need an interface, and the interface cannot be yet another app on your phone. And there's no good interface that controls everything at once from a single app, which is basically the SmartThings model. It's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So the idea that they all need a great voice interface, like if you're one of these smaller companies, if you're Belkin or whatever, there's no way you can hire the researchers and the designers, the intelligence people to build a great voice interface with the Wemo switch. So you just get Amazon's for free. It's like kind of an incredible move.
I agree with everything you said, and yet I still hate voice interfaces.
Really?
Yes. Siri still gets stuff wrong for me all the time.
No, but have you used an Echo?
I haven't. No, and
one
I
of the
need to.
genius things that Amazon did is they just paid more attention to the microphones, and the microphones on the Echo are incredibly good. Yeah. And like that's actually probably the most impressive part of that hardware. It's not the speaker, it's not the Wi-Fi.
The speaker's like pretty middling, actually.
Yeah, it's not
that
great.
All I know is that in any case where I could send a text rather than use my voice, I would almost always rather send the text.
Oh, we should talk about bots.
Yeah, which is sort of one of the a tangent that comes out of this piece that I wrote this week about how in Silicon Valley, so much of the attention right now is turning to these messaging interfaces which are powered by bots. So it's kind of two things, right? Like one is, in this day and age, like messaging just dominates the way that we do everything on our phones, right? Like if I were to walk by any one of you at any time during the day, like the thing you were using would probably at least have messaging in it if it weren't actually just messaging. So, everybody who's, struggling inside the App Store right now is thinking, well, maybe we can use that interface to link together a bunch of other kinds of services because there are so many APIs out there. And so they're starting to write these bots that can do almost anything. And some of them are really sort of horizontal, like Facebook M. I type in anything I want, Facebook M tries to make it happen. And some of them are very like vertical, where it's like, this is an app that helps you get fit, and you have this conversation via text about what you want. People love this kind of interaction. I don't think they love voice. In fact, after my piece, somebody who I know who works closely with Apple and Google told me that internally the traction that Google Voice and Siri have gotten is considered to not be great. Google Now, yeah. That Google Now and Siri are not seen as huge successes inside those companies in terms of the traction that they're getting. And I don't necessarily think that's because they're bad products. I think it's just because it's not in our nature to want to open up our mouth and look for the microphone and make sure that we know the right command. Right? Like it's more opaque than a DOS prompt. And so that's just something that I think that these companies are going to have to work on. At the same time, like I also agree with everything that you said, that when it comes to the smart home in particular, you don't necessarily want to have to get out your phone and be like, turn these lights blue. Yeah. And so maybe the smart home does become the place where the voice interface is executed the best.
Right. I think you don't want to look crazy in public.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's a goal for any technology product. Like, does this make me look insane in public?
Yep.
And that is why the Bluetooth headset is like a niche product, right? But when I'm home and it's the Echo, I'm literally just like, yo, play some music. Like, hey, what's the...
What music do you have plugged into your Echo?
Smooth jazz.
It's just my Prime. Whatever Prime.
It's the worst. I gotta like get on my music again somehow and then get it up to
it's turned me into a real dad because it has every Wilco record. And it's just like, it just knows. It knows that, like, whatever. Like, I'll settle for every Wilco record.
You don't settle for Wilco record. You feel blessed that Wilco's in our lives.
I really want to change the voice prompt, the thing that lights it up from Alexa to fuck it. So I can just say, fuck it, play some Wilco. And, like, it'll just do it.
Fuck it, order me more Oreos.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that would be wonderful.
Fuck it, another pint of Ben & Jerry's.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if there's anything that you can't say to Alexa that isn't better by saying fuck it beforehand. Set a timer.
Fuck it, what's the weather? Yeah. Fuck it, set a timer for 5 minutes. Like, it's like, I just keep, and that's like a thing that you can do in your home. And, like, you just say it out loud and, like, things begin to happen. I don't know, man. I think the Siri and Google thing is because you have to. The microphone on the phone isn't good. It often doesn't work. It needs, like, the Echo, because it's plugged into literally plugged in the wall and, like, stationary. It gets better. Like my niece and nephew love it because when you ask it, like, the circle lights up and the light points at you. And I think all this smart home stuff. It's like we're just in this minute where we're just, the phone isn't. Like, we know its capabilities and how we're building these other experiences. When Siri came out, the first thing Paul Miller said was, "Why can't I write to you?" Like,
yes.
Why I have this interface? Why can't I just type at you?
Yep.
Because that's an artificial. Like, that's, and it's funny that we're now at the point where we're basically typing at AIs.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be crazy in programming.
And I'm one who thinks that Siri would be tremendously more valuable if it did have a texting interface.
Right.
And the benefit to Apple would be, think about if it did become very popular, think about all the data that it's feeding into Siri and training it.
Right.
I think there's a real opportunity there.
Can I say something?
That Cortana
You
lets
guys gonna get really mad?
Yeah.
Well, Cortana, but you know what else had a really great text box? You could just type anything into it.
It was a WebOS.
WebOS.
WebOS. Okay. And it just had a keyboard just all the time there. So if you wanted to do something, you just open it up and start typing, and then it would happen.
Was that feature called Just Type?
It was called Just Type.
Yeah, it was wonderful. That was a wonderful operator. The dream of WebOS is still alive in a series of LG TVs that no one will purchase. The setup. Have you gone and seen TVs yet, Nicola?
Yeah, they all look the same.
They're big and square.
Some are curved.
Some are curved. Have any of these TVs convinced you to buy a new television?
No.
Wow.
What's it gonna do?
You're so mad.
What's it gonna do?
The only thing.
What's it?
Everything feels boiled down to, like, real animal instincts at this point.
There's, like, literally, like, waves of anger, like, emanating from you, like heat.
When you say waves of animal instinct, do you mean that, like, as you look around the show floor, you're just thinking, like, how do I protect my family from any threats that might emerge?
Yeah.
Nicola's doing that thing where you look at an animal and you, like, see what parts of its body are steak. You're like, oh, I see. That's but she's doing that with people.
Is she like a 1940s cartoon?
Okay.
I might be.
Her tongue falls out of her mouth in a staircase.
Well, something that I enjoy at our time in CES is I often drink with Casey. When Casey gets a little drunk, talks like a 40s gangster.
I do. For some reason, I'll have like 3 old fashions, and all of a sudden it's, "Say, what's the big idea?"
That's amazing.
The best part of CES has been the alcohol with coworkers.
Absolutely.
I feel like
it's like any war. You fight some like horrible battle, and then you just like go get the beers and talk about what happened.
What we're gonna do when we go back to New York is we're all gonna sit around a VFW hall and keep talking about CS.
there should be like VFW halls, but for retired bloggers, where they just gather around with their laptops and smoke.
Isn't that Twitter?
And tweet.
Yeah.
Smoke and tweet. Oh, that's awful. What else happened? We got a few minutes left. What else happened?
I just want to point out that the peach.cool story is #1 on the website.
Come on.
The story is, it's people want to know about the hottest new social networks.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say this. Oh, I remember what I was going to say about Siri and search. It's funny because if you think about it, Apple has 2 different messaging interfaces on iPhone already. If you swipe right, you get a search box that's somewhat intelligent and will like tell you things.
Yeah.
But you cannot type into that "what is the weather" and get a Siri result.
Exactly.
And it's like you could just combine those things and get there.
That's exactly where I want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, as long as we're talking about that screen, let me 3D touch the app icon suggestions.
You know what I'm dying to... Oh, and then like pop it open.
Yeah.
So you're like... You know what I really need is when you search for an app, I need it to tell me on what fucking screen it is.
I would love that too.
I don't...
Yeah.
It's
That's a
like
problem.
just, where is it? Can you just take me to that screen?
Yeah.
Instead of...
The reason that no one will ever solve that problem is because the average person probably only has one screen of apps in the future.
Wait, your problem is you can't.
So like,
if you have apps and folders,
How many pages do you have?
look at, I have like
Up there in
hundreds of
folders.
pages of apps. They're like insane.
Dude, put them
Because
in folders.
I navigate my phone.
Folders.
No, but how do you find the apps to put them in
No,
the folders?
yeah.
Find all my banking apps.
Take 10 minutes.
It's not 10
Figure
minutes.
it
It's like
out.
6
It's a
hours
fun
of my
hobby
life.
It's
for
worth
the
doing.
subway.
This is a man
Yeah.
who fought me for 3 months over switching his Google authentication app.
No,
from
don't tell
Google
them.
Authentication.
Don't tell them.
Okay.
They'll hack it.
Right.
They're all hackers. You can't. Don't tell them what I'm doing.
I'm scared of them.
I use triple factor authentication.
Yeah.
You can't possibly be cracked. Wait, is that a challenge?
Yeah.
It's like,
Don't do that.
what is the hacker psychology and how do
let's
I
just have a
manipulate it?
gentleman's agreement with the hackers.
That's never gone.
Let's-
So I moderated this Mr. Robot panel, and the dude, I don't remember. There was one was the vice president at Mandiant, and the other one was the chief security officer of these huge security companies. And the one guy was like, I investigate some of the most heinous and disturbing computer crimes that ever exist. Yet, I know that there's nothing I can do in my personal life to protect myself, so I just use my credit card all the time. And it's constantly getting hacked. You just got to live with it. And it's like, that was terrifying.
Wait,
Wow.
like, so people come after this guy because they know that he's essentially like the computer cop,
Well,
and they want to mess with him.
yeah. So look, I hung out with some computer cops, like you do.
What's the big idea with these computer cops?
Yeah, like you do. Me and the boys in blue, just getting down, talking
The
about
long arm of John Law. Checking you into the old Gray Bar Hotel.
That's our show, everybody. No, he was like, "There's nothing you can do."
Yeah.
Like literally, and their thing was like, everybody should turn on two-factor. That's about as best as. Oh, and then they're like, don't use garbage companies, right? He was
Like
like,
Peach.cool.
yeah, they're like, don't give. And I was like, dude, you know, they asked the audience a question like, who here uses the same password for everything? And like, half the audience like sheepishly raised their hands, and they're like, you're idiots.
Yeah.
And they're like, who here has a burner password for companies they think are garbage and will leak their data? And like half the audience raised their hand.
So I mean, I don't consider them burner passwords, but so I sign up for new apps every week now, and I generate an individual password for all of them. It took me a long time to come around to that, but once I did,
The
I started to
Ford's
feel a lot
reverse
better.
lights are turning on.
Someone's playing in it.
Okay, I'm just
All right.
saying, those are the lights that usually come on when the car's about to move in reverse.
I'm not going to die on stage.
I'm not gonna die today.
Not at CES.
not by the hand of this
Oh, that would be
focus.
the worst.
No sync operated vehicle shall kill me this day.
There are some cool ways to die in Las Vegas. Getting backed over by a Ford Focus is not one of them.
Ass end of CES. Save me, inflatable Bluetooth speakers. All right, I don't know. We just put up a headline that says this is a CES gadget Conan O'Brien called the Titbit.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
we've
thing that
done
happened.
everything we can do here.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what that was. That was she was on this stage doing that interview.
Yep.
Also, we had Palmer Luckey on stage yesterday.
Yep.
With Hattie.
Also, by the time this is out, I don't think it'll be a surprise. We had stormtroopers on the
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did actually a lot. We should. So we are obviously very tired when talking about nonsense. Nicola,
Yeah.
do you have any more nonsense you want to talk about?
Oh, nonsense?
Yeah. Are you going to a party tonight?
Yeah.
What are you going to?
Oh, I got options.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you doing like the CES Vegas Tinder on the side just to check it out?
No, I quit Tinder.
Oh right.
Remember? And I stuck to it, and my life's way better. Way better.
I feel weird about using Tinder in like strange cities that you only visit once a year because
Yeah.
you're like, all right, great, I matched with a dental student. That's good. I'll just put that in my
Aren't,
back.
like, hashtags. I feel like the
No, there's
way
no-
we should do a story about the way married people talk about Tinder. Like it's a wonderful playground. They're like,
Yeah,
what is
you
it
all have
like
some
in there?
Amazing.
It is a little bit of just like a self-esteem engine. I mean, I guess ultimately that is why you use it when you visit another city. Is that you know, somebody thinks you're cute and you think they're cute, and you know, in another world, maybe you just quit your job and move to that city and live with them. You know,
Or you could just assess your local value.
Yeah. This is, I mean, you know,
Find where
while I'm
you're-
waiting for live blogs to start, it's nice to be like, can I start a life with this person instead of live blogging about NVIDIA's self-driving car lunchbox?
So did you match with anybody? Here
Yeah, I got some nice matches, and they'll be hearing from me. Stay tuned.
No, seriously, we should just do a man on the street when find married people. I'm like, what do you think Tinder is? And
What-
they're like, instant fucking. It's the app that has sex with you. Right? Sorry.
Yeah, it's Uber for adultery.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the one where you just push the button and like babes show up, right? It's like that's how. Anyway, Trey let me use his Tinder once.
Yeah. He was real mad at you.
Yeah, I don't have my Tinder game. He was like, "What were you typing?" And it's all like, "Hello, I am a man." He's like, "You're out the game, dude. Never again." All right, so we gotta wrap up.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who's listened to our show. Thank you, these people. Most of them work for us, so thank you for continuing your employment at theverge.com. He's like, Dave's like, run. He's like, fuck this. Thank you for using that terrible TV as a monitor for these many days. Anyway, we have done so much at CES. There's obviously this show, which is great. There's many episodes of that. We did a podcast with Walt here, but we also did tons and tons and tons of video interviews on the stage. Everybody from the CEO of Fitbit, I said Palmer Luckey was here. There were stormtroopers here. Just tons of stuff on the stage, so look for that. We had a really cool video with the next generation of Lego Mindstorms. I think it's awesome. We did tons and tons of other videos that are on, and I think this is cool if you're like into the future media. We've been recutting the videos and targeting towards different platforms. So the main place to see everything's on YouTube. Go there, subscribe to our YouTube page. You can watch everything from CS. There's some really great ones. But then if you go look at our Facebook page, the videos are actually slightly different, which I think is really interesting. And people are watching the hell out of them there too. So hit our Facebook page, watch videos there. I want to call out a couple from today that are amazing. Lauren Grush wore an exoskeleton, like a robot exoskeleton, that instead of giving her superpowers, made her an old person. So there's like a VR headset that like fucked with her vision.
It's incredible.
And like made her move really slow, like gave her arthritis. And that video is incredible. Especially because she's so tired, and at the end she just begs you to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
In the most defeated tone of voice you've ever heard.
She's like, please, God.
It's like, yeah.
They have a gun to my head. They demand that I say this in every video. So that one's great. And then Lauren and Sean, our two space cadets, went to the NASA booth, and Rover drove literally over their body. Like they laid on the ground, the Rover. It was super fun. There's just tons of videos to watch. Please watch them all at the YouTube page, or Facebook, or wherever the hell it is that anywhere but Go90, the worst of all video experiences.
But do make sure to add The Verge on peach.cool.
On peach.cool.
We will be pumping in lots of content there shortly.
And Nicola and Kirsten, you guys snap again today?
No, I haven't seen her all day.
So, Kirsten's been out in the world Snapchatting, so look at us on Snapchat. I have to say, just wrapping up the show, like, relatively boring show, relatively quiet, not a lot of, like, big, flashy product news, but lots of things that are very cool. And just looking at, it's funny to look at our site and be like, oh man, there wasn't that big breakout chart beat explosion of traffic on the website. But then we made all these videos of things that are legitimately fucking cool here, and people are watching the hell out of them because there's so much cool stuff here that isn't news.
Yeah.
Right? It isn't a big headline that's going to like explode because Samsung or whatever did the next thing. It's pieces of technology that legitimately look like the future, or a piece of the future, or something that will change your life. I mean, I'm just like, we have a bunch of cars. We have a levitating speaker. It's ridiculous. Screw that. It's funny because I said, like, I was going to read some inspiring things, and it's like levitating speaker, the Swagtron. But anyway, we
went to the Neon Museum.
We went to the Neon Museum. We saw a styrofoam drone. We saw a hydrogen fuel cell phone charger. So instead of having to charge the battery, you have there's like little things, inserts. And you put it in, it turns it into a fuel cell, and will charge your phone, so you can just carry additional power with you.
Wow.
You know, like, that's ridiculous, but that's not a headline. That's like a new product, right? It's not news from CES. But you just see how people are responding to the videos of being able to see what these cool new things here look like, and it's actually kind of inspiring and powerful. So I know it's terrible. I know Nicola is like, she's staring at me like I'm an awful person for even daring to say something
No, I'm
positive.
looking at you, and I'm seeing what you would look like as a cartoon dog. I can see it really
Nicola's
clearly.
stoned, and I think, I don't know if weed is legal here. A cartoon dog?
Yeah, I can see it right now in the state of being that I'm in right now.
I think you would be a mouse.
Me? A mouse?
Like a cute mouse. You know what I mean?
All right. I always thought a bunny rabbit, personally.
No, something with ears. Something
Yeah.
with gigantic. Disney is sending in the federal officials to shut down.
It's got to go.
Mickey Mouse.
It all has to end.
Sorry, Pocahontas.
I'm
just
wishing
yelling
this-
copyrighted phrases to see if Disney will arrest me.
How much longer before this Vergecast will be shut down by a police raid?
Let it go.
I hope I'm on that one.
All right. That was our show. Please, like I'm saying, there's so much cool stuff to look at from the show. Thank you for sticking with us on the podcast. And I actually won't be on the Vergecast next week. Dieter will be hosting, but we'll be back to our regular.
Really?
Because I'll be at a place.
Oh, yeah.
Think about where I'll be. Got surprises coming. Now we're just making clicking sounds. God, kill me. We're in Vegas for another full day. The show's not even over. Tomorrow's the last full day of the show. We just refuse to acknowledge it. No, tomorrow's the day when you can walk around and buy stuff on the cheap.
Yeah,
That's what we should do. We should try to buy stuff on the cheap tomorrow.
that's a good idea.
Anyhow, we'll be back to a regular Verge schedule starting immediately on Monday. Only everyone will be a little bit more tired and a little bit wiser, and our family will have grown ever stronger because we have suffered this pain together. That was it. Rock and roll. Bye.